All right, welcome to the New Year, New You Nutrition Talk, powered by Fusion Training and Nutrition. I'm Danielle Childs, owner and manager of Fusion Training and Nutrition, and here with me today is my partner in crime. She's our lead nutrition coach, Jill Holgrave.
Hi, everyone. I am really excited today to get to chat with you about gaining control of healthy habits this year. If you haven't already started some of those resolutions for the new year, this is going to be a great presentation for you guys to really grasp where to head with those.
That's right. Over the past few years, we've done a lot of challenges, as some of you may have taken part of, but what's been missing is the ability to help our clients continue their healthy habits long beyond a challenge. Challenges are a great way to get started, but what we've found is that customizable one-on-one nutrition coaching is where it's at to really help people get sustainable results. And that can be life-changing for sure. Recently, we partnered with an amazing group of registered dietitians at Healthy Steps Nutrition. Their program has helped over 30,000 people with a habits-based approach. Several on our team are in the process of getting certified through their program. So we at Fusion Training can offer that missing piece, nutrition. We are really excited about it, and we wanted to share that news with you today. So we are officially kicking off our monthly nutrition talks. We've set this up in a Zoom webinar. It's not as quite interactive as our Zoom meetings that we've done in the past. So we're going to see how it goes, but we hope you find it very helpful in your daily lives. And during this webinar, feel free to type your questions in the Q&A that's at the bottom of your screen, and Jill and I will be the only ones seeing that. And at the end, we'll try to answer those questions for you. And if you're watching this on your phone, it might be a little difficult to type a question. So feel free to send us an email with your question, and one of us will reply back to you. We plan to do these nutrition talks once a month, as well as provide a lot of other free help on our Facebook page and with our weekly email. So hopefully you'll have access to those. And if not, let us know and we'll get you hooked up. You will also see different areas that we'll be adding to our website over the next few months. Super excited about these recipes, blogs, and recordings of all these nutrition talks. So we're really excited to be with you today. We've put together some great information for you guys, and we think you're going to learn a lot of things for sure. All right, let's get started. As you know, the title of our presentation today is New Year, New You. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard this slogan before as the new year comes in and people are trying to make a lot of changes for the positive, which is a great thing. But when we talk about going into the new year and making sustainable changes and reaching our health and wellness goals, there are definitely some things you'll want to keep in mind. All right, we need our next slide here, and it's not going. Let's see. All these fun little things that we have to do. All right. Okay. Let's try this again. There we go.
So at Fusion Training and Nutrition, we believe that something as fundamental as nutrition should not be complicated. We want to help empower our clients to meet their health and wellness goals. And that would be with using a simple habit-based approach. You only should be taking one step at a time.
Awesome. I promise we will get it together here. Okay. All right. At the end of the year, or the beginning of a new year, we tend to make resolutions in hopes to become a better version of ourselves, like a better new you kind of thing. A New Year's resolution is a common tradition in which a person resolves to create or continue good practices. Maybe they change or an undesired trait or behavior to accomplish a personal goal or improve their life overall. But how often are these resolutions actually getting accomplished or achieved? Let's look at some statistics for the success rate of New Year's resolutions, and this is going to kind of blow your minds.
Mm-hmm. So reports indicate that approximately 60% of people make a New Year's resolution. Only 8% of people who make New Year's resolutions reported to achieve them. So according to the US News and World Report, 80% of New Year's resolutions fail by February.
That is crazy.
It's a very big number, but in 2014, there was a report that 35% of participants who failed their New Year's resolutions admitted they had unrealistic goals. So 33% of participants didn't keep track of their progress, and 23% forgot about them. So in a statistical kind of way, about 1 in 10 respondents claimed that they made too many resolutions.
I think we all do that for sure.
I know that we all do. But additionally, research participants achieved their goals 22% more often when they engaged in the goal setting. So wherein resolutions are made in terms of small and measurable goals. So there's a lot of times that we'll have people come in and say, oh, lose that pound a week, rather than just lose weight. Like there has to be some type of a statistic to that so that you have a goal to reach. But motivation comes from seeing the small wins. And I think that you guys could all agree that those small wins, they make the big picture, realistic. So even though you might have a big goal of following through with your resolutions this year, you should definitely break it down into small progressive steps.
That totally makes sense. I think if people set their resolutions that way, it would make a huge difference for sure.
Mm-hmm. So when it comes to setting goals, you need to start with an assessment of yourself. You guys, if you are in team trainings and a member here at Fusion, that's the one thing that we really are trying to get into that habit of, is making sure that you're setting down and you're looking at those goals again. If you have your handout from the email that we had sent to you guys earlier, take a minute right now to just glance at it. Or if you don't have it, it's okay, not a big deal. You can look back at it later. But I just want you to think about something. What does success look like to you? What do you want to achieve in this new year? So common personal goals, including losing weight, it could be achieving good grades if you're taking classes for college and saving money. The strategy for goal setting begins with the big picture. So taking a look at the big picture before breaking it into smaller components allows you to focus on the primary goal. Once the main goal is set, breaking it up into those smaller, more achievable components, it just helps in the planning portion of, setting the goal. These smaller, more attainable objectives promote that self-esteem and then, promote and provide the instant feedback to keep you on your task. So think about this. What worked well in the past? You might want to revisit some of those things that helped you reach past goals. What didn't work well in the past?
That's a good question.
You probably don't want to go back to the things that didn't help you move that needle forward in the past. But that's really important as well, is that you know what that component is, because you don't want to go back. So time management is the practice of systematically finishing tasks in order to help facilitate achieving your goals. So during your personal assessment, you'll need to think about that time commitment it will take for you to achieve your goals. So if your goal is to eat healthier in order to lose weight, then you need to commit that time to plan out your meals, go grocery shopping, and really meal prep or cook and plan how you're going to make that time commitment for those meals.
That's key for sure.
Mm-hmm. So you also need to think about why behind setting those goals. It's something important to know how you will actually feel when you achieve that, because your why is going to have that emotion factor to it. So when you think about that moment, that why, it will help fuel that motivation to dig deeper and then reach those goals. So just take a few minutes today to complete that self-assessment in that handout that we had sent to you guys. It's really the first step for setting your New Year's goal. But now that we have discussed like the self-assessment a little bit and setting our goals, we all know that that's something that's really important as we talk about our journeys. So let's talk about 3 tips that can help you stick with those goals.
All right. Tip number 1. This is a big one for me. It's ditch the all or nothing mentality. We live in a microwave society where we are expecting instant results, don't you? But the truth is, it takes time to make your changes sustainable. So you need to make sure you create healthy habits, which ultimately can be woven into your lifestyle after consistently achieving them over a period of time. I know for me, I tend to focus on all the things that I need to change all at one time. And because I want to see results fast, I tend to try to change everything all at once. And when I do, and Jill knows this, it just gets really overwhelming. And I do really good for like the first week or so. And then life happens, like with all of us. And then it seems like I just stop everything and I start to get discouraged because I think I should see those results immediately, just from changing some of those bad habits, but I don't see as much as I'd like. So like Jill said, it's important to take one step at a time and try not to change everything at the same time.
Right. So let's take a look at all these resolutions. You guys can see this picture right now. It is so overwhelming. So it's really important that you write stuff down, because if you would see something like this in front of you, it is too much, okay? There are likely several goals or resolutions that you want to commit to for the new year. But the key is only working on that one thing at a time. Here's some really interesting facts when it comes to changing things. You will probably find yourself in probably one of these categories. Research has shown that when people try to change a single behavior at a time, the likelihood that they'll retain that habit for a year or more is better than 80%.
Wow, just by focusing on one thing.
Just by focusing on one thing. So I'll say that one more time. If you can retain that habit, that one, you have an 80% chance of being successful with it.
Wow.
So if somebody's trying to tackle two behaviors at once, their chances of success are less than 35%. So you're talking going from an 80% success rate down to a 35.
Just by adding another.
Just by adding one.
Wow.
So then when they try, or if you try to put in even a third, that success rate goes to less than 5%. That is drastic, guys. So is it any surprise though, then, that when people try to massively overhaul their lifestyle at the same time, the changes simply just don't stick? And so of course not. This is why you need to focus on that one thing at a time to set yourself up for success. So to be honest, it's really about changing that all or nothing mindset. We have to be mindful of what we are choosing to eat or do, but it does take time, along with some simple, actionable steps, as we start to reframe our way of thinking. So how many times, and Danielle will know this one, but how many times have you grabbed that one cookie from the box that you enjoyed it and you think, all right, man, I have already had one, I might as well eat the whole box? Yeah.
Double stuffed Oreos for me.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Okay. But instead of going back down that all or nothing tunnel, we have to change your mindset, and we have to say, I enjoyed it, I had one, and I'm moving on. So it's a mindset of that. Or how many times have you had trouble getting into team training or coming in for a small workout because of time, work, or other commitments? We've always said 20 minutes of activity is going to keep you moving forward. So take that 20 minutes that you have to focus on stretching or yoga or going for a brisk walk. It does not have to be all or nothing.
That's a good point.
So another thing that we hear is, I ate terrible this month. I'm just going to wait until next month. Or as of right now, everybody's like, oh, I'm just going to wait until the new year to start over again. Well, let's change that all or nothing mindset and say something like, I did have some holiday treats, and that's okay. Balance is the key, and I can strive for balance every day just by making better choices than I made the day before. It does not have to be the all or nothing mindset. So let's move on to tip number 2.
All right, tip number 2, start with a clean slate. I love this one because, again, in today's society, we have so many diet options, and to be honest, it can just overwhelm us and drag us down. You don't know what to choose. They say a confused mind does nothing, and sometimes that's what happens. It's easy to focus then too on how we failed in the past, maybe what we tried and what didn't work. But when we do that, it really makes it hard for us to succeed moving forward. There are likely several goals or resolutions that you attempted in the past, as well as me, or maybe diet plans or nutrition challenges that you tried that left you feeling unsuccessful. So if this is you, you're not alone. Research shows that at least 2/3 of people on diets regain more weight than they lost after they get off their diet. And we're talking like a true diet, like, well, I'm not going to have this and I can't have any of this and any of this food group. So that all or nothing mindset, cutting out too many things, being on an official diet is where you're going to get into trouble.
And I think a lot of people, they have it skipped. They think, oh, my friend's doing the keto diet, so, and it's worked so well for them, so I'm going to hop on that train. It doesn't work in the first few weeks. So then, oh, well, Sally over here, she's doing the paleo. I'm going to try that because it worked for her. I think it's just really important that you need to find what is for you. And doing that is being balanced in what we're choosing and, our mindful choices of eating.
So whatever your situation or whatever you've tried in the past, give yourself a break. Give yourself some grace. Put those negative experiences, outcomes, and thoughts behind you and move forward with a clean slate. We haven't gone too far into the new year, so there's still time. And over our lives daily, they're changing with our kids' schedule, with our schedule, work schedule. So leave what's in the past and focus on the future and move forward.
All right. So sticking with this clean slate approach that Dana was just talking about, let's talk about the closet clean out strategy. All right. So what do I mean about that closet clean out? I literally want you to go through your pantry cupboards and I want you to go through the refrigerator and I want you to clean it out. Like my family has been doing so much better since our closet clean out because what we didn't have, we didn't use. And if I don't buy it, I can't have it.
That's the key.
Exactly. So here are 4 tips for cleaning out your refrigerator and your pantry. The first one, I think all of us can probably relate to this, but remove anything that is expired. There are so many products that we hang on to without even realizing they are out of date. So the first step is to clean out is to check the expiration labels and get rid of anything that is out of date. There are healthy things that you may have packed in there. I stock up on, like protein ball stuff. So I have some of my powders or whatever. Well, one I had used like half a bag or whatever, and then it was sitting back there for a little while and
it expired.
So you got to make sure that you get through there and just check it out. Make sure that anything that you have, if it's expired, get rid of it. The next one is probably a pretty big one for most of us, but check the sugar content. Sugar is added to so many processed foods that are labeled even as healthy. So did you know that the American Heart Association recommends that kids ages 2 to 18 and women should consume no more than 25 grams of added sugar per day, and men should consume no more than 36. So to check the nutrition facts label for that added sugar in food products, just a can of Pop a Day has, I believe, anywhere between 36 to 45 grams of sugar. Like you've already
gotten it full over then, more than what you need in a day.
So a lot of times, especially with some of our female clients, you're like, I want to get rid of this belly, and this sugar is it's gonna fester, and that's where it's gonna sit. And when you're doing those extra sugar products, that's what you're gonna find, that yeast buildup is gonna get in there. So it's really important that you're checking that sugar content. The third one is to check fat and sodium. Fat and sodium are stabilizers. Companies add these items to food products to make them last longer for their shelf life. So while we want to incorporate healthy fats from nuts, seeds, and oils, we also want to limit the processed foods loaded with fats and trans fats. A lot of times you're going to find these in sauces or soups, and just make sure that you're checking that because their processed foods are loaded with sodium. That's going to flavor and make that shelf life a lot longer.
And if there is something, your favorite thing, sometimes they do come with a lower sodium
like a
version.
lighter,
Right.
healthy.
Right.
Yep.
So try to find something like that.
Yeah. The fourth one is strategically place your whole foods. Okay. So when you open the pantry door, you are likely to grab whatever is right in line of your vision. So what is the first thing that you see when you open the pantry or the fridge? Try moving all those whole foods to the top shelf of the refrigerator or in the line of sight of the pantry. At our house, I strategically place my healthy snacks at eye level in the pantry because we are much more likely to grab something that is right there in front of us when we are uncertain of what we are truly hungry for. So in the refrigerator, I always make sure that I have, protein balls that are available for the family to grab and go. It's just good to know that I'm setting my family up for success in that process and that they're not reaching for the chip drawer. But I also make those snacks healthy and kid friendly because I don't want my kids to think that going and eating that bag of chips is going to be the best thing for them. So, and the last thing, I also cut and package my fruits and veggies right away when I buy them. They're just easy access. It keeps my family eating those things as opposed to grabbing something else with absolutely no nutritional value from the pantry.
I need to get better at that because I find, I buy a whole head of cauliflower and things like that, and then they just sit there. And so then I have a problem because then it just doesn't get eaten, and then it goes bad and it starts turning brown, and then you got to throw it away. So yeah, not a good thing. Not a good thing. All right, those are great tips, Jill, that you've already talked about. I'm going to definitely make some time to do a closet clean out this weekend. You've inspired me for sure. All right, our last tip, number 3, make a plan for success. Benjamin Franklin said it best: if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. We know that success leads to continued motivation with achieving results. And that makes a lot of sense. When you see success, even small successes, it helps us move forward so we can reach our goals. So I'm curious, what's your plan for success? Do you even have one written down?
So as Daniel has said, success leads us to staying motivated. Seeing those wins is going to motivate us even more to achieve those big long-term goals. But you got to think about how you will plan for that success in this new year. So going back to the goals that you've set, what is realistic? Realistic is going to be a really key word when you're doing your goal setting. Are you setting yourself up for success, or is that going to be a failure? It's really important that you really acknowledge and process that question. So losing 25 pounds may seem like too big of a goal to reach. So instead of saying I need to lose 25 pounds as soon as possible, let's look at the realistic steps. Set yourself up to have a sustainable weight loss of 1 to 2 pounds a month. It is not going to just...
A week or a month?
In a month. In a month. Do a month. Because if you have been working out, you have been nutritionally eating healthy, by doing that 1 to 2 pounds in a month could also motivate you and set you for success, because maybe you'll end up losing 5 pounds and not just that 1 to 2. But life is going to happen. Holidays happen, events happen.
For sure.
You've got to make sure that they are realistic. Anything above and beyond that, raise the roof.
Yeah.
So really start focusing on those goals, but also the whole foods and the balanced meals that you should be having. Slowly, you will push the needle forward and start hitting those long-term goals if you can focus on the small stuff first. So as we've been saying, making a plan for success is so important. Blocking off some time each week to go to the grocery store, buying healthy and nutrition-dense foods. I'll say that again. Buying healthy, nutrition-dense foods and preparing to make balanced meals are always going to be important. So also be sure to keep your goals visible. Write them down so that you can keep them in your view. Because if you don't see them, you won't remember them.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yes. So share your goals with a friend or a family member. Most people will highly benefit from having an accountability partner. We all need that accountability buddy. Even us as coaches at Fusion, we hold each other accountable in different ways, whether that's getting our workouts in, or if we're doing, meal prep, what are we doing? It's important that you share those things with people that are close to you. So find a way to track your progress, whether it's with an app, a calendar, a Google Sheet. Maybe you're somebody that likes pen to paper. But remember, you cannot measure what you do not track. So it's hard to reach those goals. All right. When we talk about your goals, you'll hear us ask why several times. Why is losing that weight important to you? There is an emotion attachment to that why. So it's really important that you feed that why with the motivation. We don't just do things to do things. We do that because of a connection, a deeper reason. When you express your faith to your friends or your family, the reason that your goal is important to you, it will be easier for them to understand and support you. So it's just going to empower you to reach goals, which, you guys have set up. But you've got to have that team. You've got to have those people that are around you to help support you.
Right. Sometimes I think we are afraid to tell people our goals because then it's like, oh shoot, they know it and they're going to keep me accountable. And sometimes we honestly don't want to be accountable.
Right.
But really, that's the way. If we truly have that big goal set, that accountability keeps us moving when we don't have the motivation to move on our own.
Yeah.
It keeps us accountable for sure.
Yeah. So let's just recap the tips for helping you set and achieve your goals in the new year. Number 1, ditch the all or nothing mentality. Cut it out. All right. Focus on one thing at a time. Number 2, start with a clean slate. Let go of the past and give yourself that fresh start. Clean out the pantry. And number 3, make a plan for success. Because if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail.
Great. Awesome. Okay, we're going to check the Q&A to see if any questions have come in. Again, we're the only ones that can see that. So if you have a question, type it in quick. If we don't get to it, shoot us an email because we will definitely follow up with you. Or if you see us at Fusion, just ask.
Yep.
All right, here is, this is a great question. I'm a sugar addict. How long does it take to get rid of cravings? What you say, Jill?
This is such a common denominator for so many people, the sugar addict. So you need to think of it this way. The more that we have it, the more our body is going to crave it. So you've just got to take those small steps each day to at least take something out. Or if you're not somebody that can handle the taking away, if that feels too restrictive for you, then let's add something else. So let's say that, Johnny drinks 5 pops a day and we're trying to get him down to 4. I may say, hey, we need to start getting at least 4 glasses of water in a day. Just that adding in that extra water into the day is going to help him to feel fuller, and he'll slowly see the decline of how many sodas that he's drinking in the day. Or maybe you're doing fruits instead of, juices. Making sure that, people are having enough protein and fiber will also help you not to have that crash. Because in protein and fiber, you're going to have some natural sugars in those things that'll help, rise that sugar level, and it won't make you feel like you are like in dire need of that soda or whatever that chocolate, whatever that sugar kick is for you.
Totally makes sense. All right. I'm going to stop our screen here and see if there's any additional. That was a really great question, by the way. Okay. I don't see any additional questions, but like I said, feel free to reply back to the registration email that we sent for you. And just to wrap it up, we have some really exciting things that we want to tell you. For those of you who are live today, we are going to put your names in a drawing and you are going to receive a $10 gift card to our Fit Shop. And this month we're already doing 20% off everything. So there's an extra free $10 of stuff for you. Yeah. And we don't have like a limit, like you have to purchase this to use your $10. So you might find something in there for $10 and hey, there you go. Gift from us to you. We are going to be running a challenge to kickstart your goals on March 1st. So I know, I can't wait. I can't wait either. So for those of you who are on the call, we are going to give you early access to register. So there's only going to be 20 spots we're going to make available, and you can have one of those if you want. So we're excited about that. So be watching for some new things, information to come on for that.
We got your name down so we know if you were here.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want some help with getting on track or staying on track, we want to encourage you to schedule a fitness and nutrition game plan. These have been great. It's just a great way to sit down with one of our coaches and talk about your fitness goals, nutrition goals, and they can help you get on the right track for sure.
Yeah, and these are, even if you are a current member here and maybe you've done it, a while back, then we will still sit down with you and really go through this and really assess those goals again and get back on track with where you want to be.
Yeah, that's awesome. So again, just reply to the registration email that you had, and we'll send you a link to get that session scheduled. So we're going to be back next month for another nutrition talk. So watch for more information about that. Jill and I just want to say thank you so much for participating today. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule. But we were just excited to be here and share this great information. Hopefully you got some really great tips, and we're excited to hear about your successes.
Are you going to do drawing?
Oh, at the end. Yeah. Okay. All right. So yay. Thanks you guys so much, and have a great day. See you later.